Aurelio De Laurentiis for his contribution. Tony, I will look forward to going to Napoli and seeing what you have built, how you have built the team, saved the team, and really contributed to the overall city and the spirit of soccer throughout the country. And so this is a certificate of recognition on behalf of the city of Los Angeles about the premiere in the movie, but most importantly, about your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. For me, it is a big honor to receive this award, this recognition, and I hope you like the movie. You know, this year will be 100 years of Napoli. And so we are making the movie of 100 years. So I think next year we will be back with this other movie, which will tell all the story since 1926 to now. Okay?
I want you to know that in addition to the certificate, I want to declare that you are now an official resident of Los Angeles, making you an Angelina.
That's right. Un applauso, un applauso. So with that, you know, this gives me great pleasure, Aurelio, who has asked me to help moderate this panel. I want to welcome to the stage a journalist who shaped the city and understands the sport of soccer, LA Times soccer reporter Kevin Baxter. Yeah. Come on up, Kevin. And joining us is the voice of the LA Galaxy for 30 years, which Don, our Chief Tourism Officer, Don Liu, reminded me, he put it in good words. He is the Vince Scully, the Chick Hearn of LA soccer, Joe Tutino.
Hey. He's Sicilian, Joe.
And by the way, I just found out that his dad's from Bagheria, same hometown as my father. Thanks, Joe, for joining us. So,
thank you.
Tonight is more than just the U.S. premiere of Again 4. It's a conversation about the future of the world game right here in Los Angeles. And last fall, I was privileged to accept your invitation, Aurelio. I was joined by Mario, Joey, Anthony, and Luca, and we saw firsthand the love of Napoli has for this presidente. Going to the game, he's just beloved because he invested in this team, as you saw on the screen. And he believes in the city, he believes in the sport, and you have completely changed the landscape of soccer. So we want to have that conversation today. And we want to shape it to, discussing how does American soccer become one of the dominant forces of the world. And first up, I want to be able to guide this with 4 ideas, and I want to hear from each one of you your thoughts on the moment itself. Now, the big picture, let's begin with that. With the World Cup coming, the Olympics is on the horizon, as mentioned by the mayor, and the growth that we're seeing. Is this a defining moment for American soccer, and what makes it real, or is it real just yet?
You're asking to me?
All 3 of you.
You know, the problem we have in the soccer, the problem we have in the world, because we act as we don't know all the problems of the world. And only when we see the soccer put everybody in agreement, everywhere in the world. big difference between rich states in the world and poor states in the world. There is the dominators, which ignore the reality of things. I think the world, all the world, didn't invest very much in the culture. And so we are paying that problem everywhere. And also in the soccer we are paying that, because you see, for example, in the United States, in the university, you have a very important cure of the sport. But there is not enough cure for soccer. For American football, yes. For basket, yes. For baseball, yes. But not very much for soccer. Yeah, I know there is a problem where the family are not very happy about American football because they said many times it can cause problem to the brain because it's a violent sport, more violent than soccer. But, until we will pay a franchise $250, $300 million, I think we are betraying the fact that soccer is a popular sport. It's a sport for everybody. Imagine in poor countries like Brazil, for example, they start to play without socks, without shoes. You just foot on beach, on the street. And I think that is a sample of how we can link all the population of the world. So, in one hand, we know that. In the other hand, we prefer to ignore that. Why? This is the dilemma and the problem.
Kevin, you cover soccer here. So we're hosting FIFA World Cup.
And most lucrative World Cup in history. I don't think those records, well, the tennis record will be broken this year because there'll be more games. But that led to the creation of MLS, came 2 years after that. I think that is the defining positive moment. It's really the kickstart that U.S. soccer needed, both from professional and from both professionally and from the national team standard.
That gap that Aurelio mentioned earlier, socioeconomic gap as it relates to the rise in American football. When you look at the very best leagues and football cultures in the world, what's the one thing that American soccer still lacks to truly compete at that level? You mentioned it, not building the farm.
I think if you want really to promote the soccer in America, you have two Americas, United States of America and Latin America. In Latin America, the soccer is very important. So why, instead to make an inconsistent tournament in the United States, which doesn't bring anything because nobody wins, they are collecting all the players coming from other countries, from Europe, etc., just because they are paying a lot of money at the end of their career. I think it would be fantastic to make a selection of a team from South America, a team from North America, and make just one unique, great championship. That would be great.
Like the World Cup of baseball.
No, but you are not forgetting
World Baseball
the
Classic.
Hispanic language is the second language of the world. And in the United States, there is a lot of people who speak Spanish. Or not?
So take a page from the World Baseball Classic.
No, but imagine Mexico. In Mexico, you have 90 million or 120 million inhabitants. It's a lot. And imagine with California, with all the other states of America, why not play with the teams from Mexico? You have also the problem of different timing with Europe. So if you want to make your match in Europe or in Asia, you have a lot of problems in establish what time to play and in which day to play. Not to mix everything with a big house. No? Nobody's studying that. I don't know why.
So, Kevin, you've covered the sport, as I mentioned. So, football as the feeder from universities. Of course, baseball has minor league. We've learned through MLS, they have an MLS Next League, but that's not, I mean, it's pretty expensive from what I learned. Where's that gap? How do you fill that gap?
First of all, you talked about the World Baseball Classic. You saw how Italy did there, and they didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
Is Italy now a baseball nation? Is that part?
The question is soccer dead and baseball alive in Italy? I don't
That's
know.
another story. You know why? Because in the moment that you establish the soccer is a real industry, and you have to make money, and you have to grow, you don't need a federation. Because the league who is financing all the system in Italy, and the same in the other countries in Europe, why you need a federation? Just because there is a people who must be in that place because they don't know, the politics people, where to put this guy. And that is a problem, but it's a problem everywhere. So the problem is to begin from zero, saying, okay, what was existing until now will not exist anymore. It's better.
Well, Kevin, if there's one person that can bring Italian football back, it's Aurelio De Laurentiis. Do you agree with that? I mean, based on the investment that he's made.
And by the way, are there Italian national team fans here? Because I jokingly said they didn't qualify for the World Cup, and they didn't. But you know, if Iran does, and you know this, if Iran does drop out, there are no rules for FIFA to replace that country. And I do know some FIFA officials are very positive about Italy. They're the highest ranked team that hasn't qualified. They're ranked 12th in the world. There's still a chance that they could come.
I give to you another example. Why right now there is equity investment funds which invest in a soccer team, but who is in charge?
Here?
Who is in charge? No, because the entity of the investment bank is an entity. It's not just a man who can think, who is a real entrepreneur. So that is a big lack, which I don't know why they start and they go on overall investing with no people on command. That is another big problem.
Well, you talked
That's
about
a corporation. Corporations running teams, investment funds is where he's going, right? Correct?
Yeah, correct.
But you talked about what's this? You talked about MLSX. That's sort of.
MLS existed because they invented the franchise to under $50 million, which is stupid stuff.
And now 5 of the franchises are worth more than $1 billion. But you saw in the film the
I know,
emotion.
because explain to me one
It's a debate all of a sudden.
one American soccer company spend a lot of money, but what is the value? The value, the gross, what did they gross? 75 million, 100 million, which is nothing. So why they must invest 1 billion? Explain to me, what is the reason?
They didn't invest $1 billion. Their value was $1 billion. There's 5 teams. The valuation is more than $1 billion. LAFC, for example.
The valuation can be 1 billion if the real gross is 75, 80, 90 million per year. Otherwise, they are very stupid to invest 1 billion.
So they can't go out and Romelu Lukaku is not going to play in MLS because they can't pay him what you paid him. So they're
The basket is different. when the basket, they had the problem in America, they stopped everything for 6 months. They put everybody in one room, they start to speak about, and finally they will start, and at the end, every team value is 8 billion, 10 billion, which is different.
Maybe you should leave Italy and come here and run MLS. Maybe that's the problem.
Joe, give us your thoughts.
So, where we are right now, how many people know that MLS right now?
Well, we need to create, and I saw that in Brazil too during the 2014 World Cup.
To MLS, you would never create.
In Sao Paulo, the city closed down. The Brazilian national team was playing, literally closed down. No traffic, no one out. And then when Brazil would score a goal, the neighborhood around you would just, cheers and fireworks and everything going on. You're right, MLS is not there yet. Major League Baseball is not there. I don't even know if the NFL is there yet. That passionate
But why you don't start to propose in UEFA, shepherding, not shepherding the head of UEFA?
Yes.
Why you don't propose to take 3 or 4 or 5 big team of America playing champion league with European stuff, just because if you put together big, I don't know, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Napoli, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, with the best of New York, the best of Boston, the best
watch our
of...
teams lose 7-0 like that.
That might be the next answer, though. That might be the next answer to the next question.
LAFC played in the Club World Cup, and they're the best team in MLS. They were not competitive against those teams. I don't think that's going to create passion. I think that's going to create people waving white flags.
I was saying before, you must create another kind of a tournament, including South America, North America, and Canada, selecting the best team and put together.
Come back this summer. There's going to be a World Cup in Canada, Mexico, and
I will be
USA.
here in June. But you see, Los Angeles were penalized because the less important match will be Los Angeles. Why? That is a problem. Because Los Angeles, I think, is one of the most important cities of America, because California is, since ever, the richest state of the United States.
So with that, speaking of Los Angeles, again, we will be welcoming the World Cup this summer. So the opportunity is here. What will American soccer become when the world is watching here in the States?
You asking to me, you must ask to them.
I'm happy to
Wait,
start.
hold on, Aurelio, you're a global leader in the sport.
No, but I already explained what is my thought.
So, one suggestion was,
My player,
each year, how much does it cost?
each year I invest 400 million.
400 million, okay. So, the LA Galaxy is one of the teams that spends well, it used to spend the most, but now it's probably third. And I would say we spend about 30 million on our roster. And Mexico, they spend probably on an average of 40 to 60 million on their rosters. So we have certain levers and mechanisms in our league that were put in place for good reason to get our league off the ground, to allow for investment, to make sure that we can be a running league and be successful as a business. These mechanisms and way of business are now holding the league back. And we've reached that point where we're outgrowing that. Nobody's told me this is going to change, but I think after this World Cup, we are going to see the loosening of purse strings from the billionaires that run our league to finally become competitive with the teams in Europe. Because I think once a good player, a national team player, realizes they'll be playing in the same schedule, the same calendar, they won't be looked down upon from their national team coach. Why are you playing in the United States when you should be playing in Europe, where I can see you week in and week out? Well, now that can happen. Why are you playing in the United States when the challenge and the caliber of play is not what it is in Italy or Germany or France or wherever? got to be raised because they'll all be spending the money. And that's how it changes.
This is going off script. What did you think about the film? Amazing. So, now, the De Laurentiis name is synonymous with the film industry, clearly. Dino De Laurentiis, your uncle, the De Laurentiis family, well known. You have incredible films. You've been very successful, you and your family, in this space. Share with us the making of Again 4. Just your thoughts and your experience in putting this film together for the audience.
No, you know, to make a movie while you are playing, so it's not easy because you have to store image. And also because, for example, Antonio Conte doesn't like to be under camera whining, speaking about his players and tell certain kind of secret or say bad words, etc., etc. But when I showed to him, suddenly, the first cut, we were, during the summer, I said, Antonio, you must see because I want your opinion. He was so emotionally involved. So I said, okay, fine. He will never come. I will never be against. So the problem is complicated to shoot during the year because there is restriction. For example, you know the last word of Conte yesterday? He told to my people, in the next pre-season moment in July and August, I don't want train with people. He doesn't want the people. Imagine in Trentino we have 70,000 Napolitan coming from Germany, from Lombardia, from everywhere, just to see in 15 days the new or the old players just train, you know? And when we go to Abruzzo in Castel di Sangro, we have 250,000 Napolitan come there just to see the pre-season match where we are inviting French team or German team or English team just to play before the beginning of the new season. We don't go to, for example, Adelaide in Australia, make me crazy. Mr. De Laurentiis, we are offering to you millions if you come. I am not come. I need 1 week to come, 1 week to come back. When we prepare the new season, because everybody try to invest in themselves, no? They must find a role. That is a problem. Because we must prepare, honestly, every day the new season. Imagine when a coach like Conte start to say to my people, I don't want anybody during the next pre-season training. It's not possible. The supporters must be respected. They put love. They were here enjoying. So you must have a big respect for them because we work for them. They commit myself. You understand? It's like when you make a movie. You make a movie for whom? For the critics? No. You make it for the audience. And only if you have success, you accomplish your obligation. And that's the truth.
Well, you put together a film that really highlighted the love and passion of not only the sport, but Napoli and Naples in general. So congratulations on an incredible film, the U.S. premiere here. I know that's a lot of opportunities. So thank you, our panelists, Kevin and Joe. Really appreciate you. Before we leave, we have a special presentation for you from the Napoli Fan Club. Please step right up. Aurelio, this is on behalf of the entire Napoli fan. They were amazing. What a great way to kick off. Come on up.